And again, what we're doing here, right, is we're highlighting what is true now on these pages. On the next page, we're going to set goals for improvement. But right now, we're just looking at what is the way that I've been for this first 3 weeks of this second marking trimester at South Brooklyn. So, you know, it's a hard time. South Brooklyn is different than other schools in that we start a term when everybody else in the world is ending things, right? The entire world in December is all about closing things up, wrapping things up, ending, getting ready for the new year, right? So most of the society closes business right now. And all of a sudden, South Brooklyn asks you to start something new. So it's counter to everything that our nature wants us to do, to have a new start to a term. And yet some of you have all of a sudden started showing up in a really different way in the last 3 weeks. Give yourself credit when that's true, right? Are you using iLearn to monitor your progress? Are you revising things, right? Some of you are revising things. I've seen things come in more than once. That's excellent, because that's learning. Nobody learns by doing an assignment one time. If this were a job, I would expect you to do work. I don't expect you to do work. I expect you to complete assignments because I expect you not to get them right. I expect you to be learning, to need more instruction, to be constantly a work in progress. So that's why the on-timeness matters, because if you're completing them on time, then you have time to get feedback and make them better, right? If you're not, though, if you've been sitting around, you know, playing whatever the new game is that's out right now, playing PlayStation or whatever it is, then that's not the same thing, is it? This one, though, this is South Brooklyn students have resiliency in spades. Resiliency is that ability to just not let it get you down, right? So no matter how many times we fall down, as long as you get up one extra time, you are winning. Cardi B said it, get up 10. So how highly are you highly reflective? Are you aware of how your actions impact your performance? Are you conscious of, you know, when I go to sleep really late, I can't get up on time, or I'm too sleepy to pay attention and I fall asleep during my Zoom class? That's knowledge. Knowledge is power. And then the real key is not giving up. So no matter what comes, challenges happen. That's life. The pandemic is a huge challenge, and yet we're persisting. We're still trying to teach you, right? We're here trying our best, and you are trying your best to learn, to overcome setbacks, to reboot the computer, to try again when Zoom kicks you out. Are you that person? Give yourself credit. Give yourself a pat in the back. And then, are you able to ask for help when you need it? This one is a really big skill. A lot of people feel like they shouldn't ask for help, that that's like a weakness or something, especially men. And I'm aware that this class right now, I've got all men here. But you've all also been able to come ask me for what you need, which is important. Give yourself credit for that. And then you submit this one. Let me check, see how you guys are doing with yours. I'll give you a few more minutes to finish. Good work. So on this page, we get to the 21st century SMART goal, right? Which is to support success in the remote learning world. You have a chance to write on the next page. So you can screenshot this if that's helpful for you to have this before you write. But what we're looking for in these sentence starters will help you get there is that your goal is specific. So I will do what, but not just I will do what, how will I know that I'm doing it? How can I measure it, right? How will I know I'm succeeding? By what measure? Like I will go to Zoom class every day. Well, how will I know I'm succeeding? Because my attendance will be 100%. Is it attainable? I know it's reachable because I don't have anything else to do at 12:50 in the afternoon, and I won't make any appointments. I know it's realistic because I have been doing it already, and it's going to be easy to keep going. And when am I going to do this by? Set yourself a goal date. The end of January is where I would set your goal date, because we'll be coming back from break. And then we have a 3-week marking period. And then I don't know what they're going to do with us during what is traditionally Regents Week, because I know the Regents are waived. But we will find out when that comes. I like to be flexible. So SMART goals are goals that we write that are really specific, that we're setting for ourselves, so that when we finish completing them, we'll feel really proud of ourselves. All right. So your page looks like this. What is your SMART goal for the rest of trimester, and how will you master this class? Please answer those questions. And then I believe that we're complete after that. I think that, yeah, there's just one more question after that on a poll. So write your answers in here. And then the last thing that we'll do before we leave class is you'll submit your project. And I'm going to show you how to do that if you haven't already done that. A couple people already have. All right, so I'm giving, so yeah, goals like I just want to pass the class are okay, but goals like I'm going to go to class every day are better because they're more actionable. You can measure them. I am going to show you in a minute though how you can see how you're doing in this course. I'm just going to give James a little chance to finish his and see if any. So this is your course, right? English A term 2, trimester 2. And we've completed the first marking period. And so this toolkit, you can find quizzes. If you didn't take the quizzes or you want to take them again to get higher, you may. And then you can go over here to assignments, which is what I have open. And you'll see that there was one assignment that was a small task you could do. And then there's the project, and this one is the big one. So I want you to submit here. When you open the screen, it should say submitted. And if it doesn't, you should click it and submit the project. Now you're sitting here in this live lesson, so you don't actually have to do this if you don't want to. I'm going to do it for you. But if you choose to come in here and reflect, you may. This assignment it's going to have the Nearpod that we just completed. As soon as we complete it, I'll post it. And then, it's just, did you attend this live lesson? Did you complete the Nearpod? Did you find it helpful? And is setting a goal helpful to you? You would answer that in this little box down here and then submit. Of course, I'm going to give you all a grade because you're here, you're regularly communicating, you completed the self-assessment, you completed the SMART goal. The only thing I don't know, you can either talk to me out loud right now about these questions, and then I would know and be able to assess this, or you can go in here and write here as you wish. And then the very last thing to do is just make sure you've submitted that project. You can also come in here and check your grades. So you can look at your grades anytime. I try and keep this up. Now this has no data because this is me and I haven't actually done any of my own work. Well, I have, but not here in iLearn. But so this is all the project development work that we did, all the things that I was trying to teach you stuff. And here's the actual project that hopefully you've turned in or you will turn in today. And then professionality is supposed to be 20% of your grade. And so that's what we just did. It's like whether or not you're showing up. And I don't like to give you a grade on anything. I like you to give yourself grades so you can complete that. Another thing you could take a look at is over here. It says class progress. And this, I don't have any progress. I'm curious if you do, what would show up for you there if you press that, so you could tell me. And then I got to figure out this awards thing because I am all about praise and positivity. So if I can start giving you guys awards, I'm going to figure out how to do that. That's my task for break. All right, so the project is here. You come in and you launch the lesson. First screen is just to tell you what we're doing, which is analyzing a film. This is not connecting, but it's a Zoom of another class. You don't need to watch it. We're doing this. Here's the project. Your job is to answer these 4 questions. You can do it by making yourself a Google Doc. To make yourself a Google Doc, you simply go to your Google Drive, click New, and come down to open a new document. Ideally, you've got a system of organization. You've got some folders in your drive like I do, and you're keeping things in places that make sense, but you can always make yourself a new MP number 1 project. And when you finish answering the questions, I would take these questions. Command C is copy, Command V is paste, and then I would just answer them. And again, try and answer a question with the question embedded in the answer. So for instance, how do the elements the writer-director includes help to achieve the author's purpose? The elements that the writer chose to include like interviews with experts, help him to create, what was it called? Who remembers what it's called when you use expert opinion? What kind of rhetorical appeal? Any memory of that? It's where, well done. Yep, this is the place where ethos, right? So I'm using a term that I learned, and I'm talking about what that actually included. And maybe I'd even make it better, from the tech industry to help him create ethos, right? Now I can delete this because I don't need that anymore, and I've got at least one sentence. If you can do 3 or 4 sentences for each of these, it's better. If you prefer not to write, that's okay with me. You don't have to write. You can record yourself, either video or audio, right here on iLearn, and it will go in and submit. If you do a Google Doc like this and you want to submit it, you would have to download it and make it into any one of these kind of files. Any one of these will work. And then once you've downloaded it, then you can upload it onto iLearn directly, right? You can also just share the Google Doc with me, and I will do this work for you as long as I get it, make sure I've gotten it. And the last thing is really take a look at this article and take a read of this, both to give you ideas about what you think about the film, but also to give you an idea of how an analysis of the film could be, right? So I know most of my students are only going to write a couple sentences for each of those questions, but notice that this guy wrote this entire article about this film, and he is doing an analysis of this film. He has an opinion about it that he believes, and he's got an analysis. Oh, and look, you can listen to the article. I didn't even realize that. So Casey Newton's thoughts you can listen to here and get an idea for what
the social dilemma misunderstands about social networks.
Nice. You can get a sense of what this is about and use this as sort of like a mentor text, the way we used some texts last time, to get ideas about how to do my own analysis. All right. So again, your job is to answer these 4 questions about the movie, The Social Dilemma. You may watch the movie again. You may read this as an example. You may get more information about the person who created it. Jeff Orlowski is the director. The Center for Human Technology is the people who paid for it and created it. And then get it to me somehow. Either upload the document here or record yourself on audio or video answering the questions. So it doesn't have to be written. It could be talked out. What I'm looking for, like we see in this rubric, is that you really have an excellent understanding of the assignment. And the assignment is asking you to analyze this text as an argument and talk about the things I've taught you. Talk about rhetorical appeals, ethos, pathos, logos. Talk about any rhetorical devices we saw them use, any repetition, any parallel structure. Sometimes when they put things one after another, that's a technique that they use, right? Anything that you notice. The music, right? I see a hand raise. That's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
I did this yesterday.
Good. And just letting you know, if you are wanting to revise it all, because yours was a little short still, that I'm giving you some ideas for how to revise. Okay. Not a have to. There will be other assignments. You can definitely pass the class without doing spectacularly on any single project. But I like to talk you guys through how you get the grade and how to make it an even stronger project. Because you and Jane have both submitted, but both of you could maybe do a little revision if you wanted to.
Oh, all right.
Right. And I think that the iLearn will let you submit multiple submissions, so you can put in more and more things. And as that just puts your professionality grade up, because then it's like, oh, he's trying, he's revising, he's working. Make sense? I don't need you to be perfect the first time.
All right.
But I didn't see, again, like you and the other submission I got, I didn't see anybody talking about ethos, pathos, or logos at all. And that one we definitely went over a whole bunch. So I'd love to see you guys using that language in your analysis. All right, because that'll get you up here on the rubric. Otherwise, it's down here, which is still passing. But I don't know. I I think highly of my students. I know you guys can do excellent, not just passing. All right. Any other quests? That will be the project, will be to read a book on your own and write about it. So if you get started on that now, you'll just be ahead of the game and it'll be easy. So maybe get a library app and read a book, do something different. All right, so the last part of our lesson today is that I would like you to start reading for fun. Ideally, you're reading something that you choose, and so here's a resource for you. This is the Libby app. You can take a picture of this image right here, download it on the App Store or Google Play, depending on what kind of device that you're using, and you can read all kinds of books, right? So they have tons of books. You can read across different devices if you have more than one device. They have audiobooks that you can listen to, which is awesome. And just by the way, audiobooks are the same. You get just as much from an audiobook as from reading the words. So go ahead and listen to books if that's more fun for you, or if you want to do other things. I like to clean the house and cook dinner while I read. And then they have like this explore thing. You should check out the section for teens because they've got really good stuff. Like this one, Stamped from the Beginning by Jason Reynolds. I just read a few weeks ago and it's really awesome, really fascinating. It's history told in a way you've never heard it. And so, you know, it's got an audiobook player. It's really easy. And even if you've had a Brooklyn Public Library card in the past, you should be able to start a new account, no problem. If it gives you any trouble, just call me or text me and I'll see if I can troubleshoot it with you. But definitely try and download this app. And then, you know, check out some books. Look for anything by Elizabeth Acevedo, this author here. I think she's amazing. I read The Fire with the Fire on High and I was totally pulled into it. It's about a young woman who's a teen mom and she loves cooking and she's a New Yorker and she's got a very it's, you know, it's got a voice that's resonant. Sounds like a lot of the students I've taught. The Poet X is also really good. This one's all written in poems, so that's pretty cool. Woke is another poet book. I haven't read it, but it's on my Libby app and on my Up Next. Another author that I absolutely love right now is this guy, Jason Reynolds. He writes such interesting stuff. It's just like amazing. This one, Long Way Down, I finished recently. And it's about a kid it's told all in poems, you can kind of see here. But it's about a kid whose brother was murdered and he feels like he has to get revenge because that's the code in his community. And as he gets in the elevator to go down to find the guy who he thinks killed his brother, he keeps meeting different ghosts from his life. And I love the magic of like meeting ghosts and talking to ghosts and having those conversations. And it leaves you off with like the cliffhangerist of ending. So if you read it, I really want to know what you think happened at the end because they don't really tell you and it's awesome. His other books, Look Both Ways, Ghost, all of them are really good. But the other one I read this summer was Stamped from the Beginning. And this is like the history of racism in the United States. And it's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. It was kind of horrifying. On page 5, I found the name of my ancestor's pastor who was on the boat from England in the Puritan age. And I didn't realize that he literally is like one of the first guys to write down racist stuff in the United States. Ugh. And my ancestor was on that boat. Ugh. So fascinating stuff to learn how this all came down and where the ideas came from. And Jason Reynolds did a great job of making this a book that's fun to read and not at all like a boring history book. So I love all of these. All of his stuff is awesome. And the last one I'll book talk today is Angie Thomas because she is so good. In my class last spring, we read The Hate U Give. If you've seen that movie, the book I think is even better. Usually is. They made the movie out of the book. There are significant differences. Like in the book, she does not kiss Khalil. So if you've seen the movie, when they have that whole kiss in the beginning, when they're listening to Tupac in the car, like that doesn't even happen in the book. Whole different. Anyway, check it out. It's really interesting. And I haven't started this one yet. And I didn't even know this one was coming out. Oh my God, she's got a new one coming out. This is exciting. What's this one going to be about? Oh, it's something, it's more about Maverick. Oh, wait, is this the story? This is exciting. Okay, so she's doing like a prequel, right? So The Hate U Give was about this girl Star, whose father is Maverick, and this one, Concrete Rose, is about Maverick when he was growing up. So anyway, there's a million good books. Please go explore. Don't read because I'm telling you to. Read because it's fun, because it's something different to do with your brain, and because there's so many good books out there. But also know that after break, I will be giving an assignment that requires you to read independently. So get a jump on it now, and you don't have to do it later. Peace and blessings. I love you. Have a happy Christmas.